INITCAP. I'm changing this D to cap lock, D Austin. So I am going to supply this email to another function called INITCAP. INITCAP. See, anytime you are typing a function, the system automatically suggests that function to you. You see it, it's showing you. This is the syntax of the function. INITCAP is a function, and then it's expecting a character inside the parentheses. So this email is having characters. Now, when I run this, if I run it, if I don't supply it to this function, it will not give me an output. But when I run this one now, it's going to give me an output. You see, it brought out the output. If I run this, it gives me everything. I run this one, it gives me the output. Why? Because I am passing the email. Email is saved in uppercase, but I'm supplying this uppercase to INITCAP, and I'm saying convert the first letter to uppercase, and then the rest should be in lowercase before you compare it to what is on the right hand side. So INITCAP does that. We'll convert this, we'll leave this D as a uppercase, and then it will change Austin to lowercase before comparing it with this side, and to give you a value. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So you understand that?
Sorry, please come again with the INITCAP.
Okay.
Sorry.
That INITCAP means initial cap. That is the initial value, which is what? That first letter is a uppercase. So I am supplying. Now let me remove this email. Now this is email. I'm saying select star from employees, where email equals D Austin. But in the database, email is saved all in uppercase. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when I run this query, there is no email saved as the first letter uppercase and the subsequent ones lowercase. There is no email saved like that. If you look at this place, all emails are saved in uppercase. Are you with me? So I am now running this query, and I'm saying I want to go to the database and bring out an employee whose email is D Austin. But look at what I supplied to the D Austin. I'm saying that the first letter is uppercase, and in the database there is no email saved like that. All emails are saved in uppercase. So when I run this, it's not going to return anything. You see, it didn't return anything. So, not knowing how the emails are saved, but this is how I want to run my query. To be on the safe side, I am saying I'm going to supply this email column to a function called INITCAP. That function, what it does is that whatever the characters that are supplied, the function will convert the first character to uppercase and leave the subsequent ones as lowercase. That is the work of that function. INITCAP, that is the name of the function, INITCAP. So all I need to do here is that I'll just supply this to INITCAP. That is the function name, and you can see already it's telling me that it is INITCAP, then in bracket character. So I'll put that in parentheses, open the bracket, and then close the bracket here. So now the email is the character that I've supplied to the INITCAP. But this email is a column in the employee table, in the employees table, right? Now, what this will do is that it will go to the employees table, call out all this column, where INITCAP, then it will now go to email. Email will go to row 1. Row 1, what do you have? I have D Austin, okay? But the D Austin is in cap lock. So it will bring it, and then supply that value to INITCAP and say, I have gotten the output. It is D Austin, but it is in cap lock. I don't know if this is what you want. Check, take it, convert it to whatever the output you want to compare it to is, and then compare and check. If that is it, I will release it to you. So that is the conversation that is going on there. So column email has supplied the row to INITCAP. INITCAP converts it to initial letter as uppercase and the subsequent ones as lowercase, and then it will now compare it to what is on the right hand side. If it matches, it will return that. So, and now it's going to return. Now it's returned David Austin. And here, because I say select star, it is going to return all the columns. Then each value in those columns as the row will be returned. So 105 as employee ID, David as the first name, Austin as the last name, D Austin, and then. And you know, this is the selection capability. Using the where clause gave me this. Let's use it in a query. I can say select, then I will say the job ID for, I will have to put that in string literal, and then capital letter, the job ID for, you know, this, I'll put that in this. This is a string literal. This thing I'm writing is going to be inserted into each row that is returned. Are you with me? The job ID for is a string literal. I've taught you that in my previous lectures. So it's going to be supplied to every column that is returned. So select the job ID for, and then I will concatenate. So I'm concatenating. Then I'll call the function upper. So I'm calling a function, and then I'm going to supply a value into that function. So I'm calling a function upper. Then I'll say last name. Are you with me? Just follow me. Then I come here, I concatenate. I'll move that away from the concatenation. I'll put it in that. Then I'll concatenate again. Then I put this one, supply this one to lower. Job ID underscore ID. Then I close it. Then I type this one, giving it a name as our employee details. I have to put this in double quote so that name will come out exactly that way. So I'm saying the job ID for, I concatenate. So what I'm doing here is upper last name, this last name. I'm going to supply last name to this upper. It's going to convert all the last name to all the characters of last name for each employee to uppercase. This is also a string literal that is going to be supplied. Then I will go to column job ID. I'm going to supply all the job ID to lowercase. So it will convert everything to lowercase as employee details. So select that from our now employees. Are you with me? So I'm going to terminate. Let me run. I'll allow you to see it first, then I will explain. Look at what it's doing. Employee details. Let me remove. See, it save it that way. I'll run it again. So correct, employee details. Now what did I do? This is one column. Let me put last name, last underscore name, comma, job ID, job underscore ID, comma. Now, if you see the initial one that I ran, Abel is, so I have to bring, you can see joining it together. So I'll put this here, I will space it. Then I will space this one too, so that it will give me space. Now, what I'm saying is that now let me ask you, how many columns am I going to have if I run this query? How many columns will I have when I run this query? Before I explain the query, how many columns will I have if I run this query? Good. That's very good. So I'm going to have 3 columns. Now the first column will be last name, second column will be job ID. Then I'm now writing a sentence. And that sentence is going to be the third column. And I'm giving it a column name of employee details. So I'm saying the job ID for, then it will give me name. So it will go to the employee tables, look for the column last name. It will supply all the last name to upper. Upper will convert all the last name to uppercase. Then is a string literal again that is going to feed into each row. Then job ID will be supplied to lower. Lower will reduce every job ID to lowercase. And then I'm saying that the column, this is the column. This is one column. Everything here is one column. So this column name should be employee details. When I run this, can you see? I have three columns. The first one is last name, Abel. The second one is job ID. These 2 columns are existing in the database, but this last column is not existing in the database. I manipulated this last column out. I created this last column out. So it is not existing in the database. If you go to the database, you will never find employee details as a column. But my output is giving me employee details that I've taught you before. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm just supplying the column names to function, just for you to see the beauty of it. Now, if you look at this, you can see that the job ID for Abel, now look at, is joining the for and the Abel together. So you come here, what do? This one, space it. Can you see? When you space it now, it's not going to join them together. See, the for and the and, everything is joined together. So run it again. Can you see it has separated it? So it's now proper. It's now okay. You can read it now. The job ID for Abel is sales rep. Look at in the database, says job ID is saved as cap lock, as an uppercase. Can you see that? Job ID is saved as uppercase. In the database, job ID is saved as uppercase. In the database, last name is saved as initial character, cap, and the subsequent ones lowercase. This is how they are in the database. But look how they are coming out in my query. The job ID for, look at all the names are coming in uppercase. Abel, Atkinson, Austin, they are all coming in uppercase because I instructed my query here that when you get the last name, pass it to the upper function. Upper function will convert everything to uppercase and return. Then if you look at the job ID here, they are all saved in the database as uppercase. But look at in my query here, they are in small lowercase. Why? Because in this place, I instructed it that when you get the job ID column, supply every row to the lowercase function. Lowercase function will convert every row of this job ID, which is row 1, row 2, row 3. It will convert it to lowercase before attaching it to this my string literal. So the job ID for is a string literal, is a string literal, then it will attach it. The job ID for Abel is SA rep. You can see that this is never existing in the database. The beauty of this is that instead of exporting it to Excel and then start typing all these things in one by one for each employee, you know how long that will take you. So someone that does not know this will have to input this information to each name one by one in Excel. That can take you hours. Now, Excel has all these functions, like this concatenate that you are looking at. Let me just show you something. I have
Okay, this is Excel.
Yes, this is Excel, right?
Yeah.
Excel has those things. Now, I want a column. This is column 1 and column 2, right? A and B. I want another column that will mesh this and this together. Now, assuming I have plenty names here, and I come here and you're asking me to do that, so I will be typing Michael. For somebody else who doesn't know how to use it, the person will do this, Michael Samuel, right?
Yeah.
This is what the person will do. Imagine you having maybe 500 names. You have to now come and start typing. I have another one here. Okay. You can see, imagine me having like 500 names, and then I will have to create another column that will require me to put this and this in one column, and I will now be typing one by one. You can imagine how many hours that would take me. But instead, because I have the functions in Excel, I can just come here like the concat. We have Excel concat, so I'll just do equals to, right? And then I'll type, can you see, concatenate. Now it's already giving me the syntax. Can you see the syntax is already showing? Are you with me? So the syntax is already showing. Now I am going to come here, click this one. I will put comma. Because I want space to be in between, I will put it in double quote. I will space it, then put double quote, then I will put comma, then I will click this one, then I will close. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So I'm supplying these two values to the concatenate function that is in Excel, and I'll press enter. Can you see it did that same thing, Michael Samuel? Then I will now come here, click down and drag. Can you see? So if I have 500 names, all I need to do is supply the formula to that first column, to that first row, and then it gives me that, and then I drag it down to the other ones. Somebody who doesn't know that will now spend his or her time sitting down to be typing one by one, and that person will probably spend 2 hours doing that job for 500 employees, and I will spend 5 minutes or 2 minutes to do the same job that somebody will spend 2 hours doing. And then the person will get up and say, wow, I was so busy today. I had to type 500 employees into one column. This. And you just look at the person and you'll be smiling. This is what so many people do in offices, that they will tell you they've been working from morning till night. Are you with me? So this is the beauty of what we are learning. Now, this is even happening in Excel. Now, my work is that I can now use script to do that same job and then export it to Excel. So that is the beauty of what we are doing.